Right, my name's Jane. I live in Stroud. I've always lived in Stroud. I've lived here all my life. Now, I'm going to put up a slide, and I'd like people to just read this one and sort of take it on board a little bit. This is just my experience. This isn't a condemnation of other people, of various shops and venues. The observations and comments are my perspective and might not represent other people. So I want to sort of make that clear. I'm not pointing the finger and saying, yeah. This is my transport. I have two rollators, really exciting. I have an outdoor one, which is more robust. It's got a bit of suspension and wider wheels. I've got an indoor one, which is quite lightweight, and it's got narrower wheels. That one's very popular. You'll see a lot of people around town. Oh, excuse me, with those. I have a manual wheelchair that was provided by OT Services in Gloucestershire. I can't self-propel. I've just not got the strength, so it relies on somebody to push me. So I bought a scooter. My scooter goes in the back of my car with a hoist. So that's the variety of my transport. Now, I'm going to pretend this is a day popping into town. Nice sunny Monday it was. And I'm trying to do this with just slides, so you can just make your own mind up. It's a bit of a storyboard. I'm going to try and not say too much. I might just give a little bit of an explanation. I'm going to park in Stroud. This is Fawkes Place, and this is the surface. This is the top of Fawkes Place. There's no drop pavement, so I often have to use the road. As a blue badge user, you can park on double yellow lines for up to 3 hours. This person's done exactly that, which is fine, but they've also blocked the drop pavement, which I thought was slightly ironic. The back of the sub-rooms, that's the entrance you use if you're going to use the ballroom for any reason, go to see an event. Cars are often parked there. I've had several moments trying to get in the back door and not being able to get in there with the wheelchair. This is the designated disabled parking at the bottom of George Street, right on a really horrible, horrible corner. I wouldn't want to park there. I would not feel safe, to be honest. So I might think, oh, I'll go to the Brunel Mall and park there. Now, these doors are too heavy. I cannot open these doors. There's two sets of them. I've tried and I can't get in or out. So I think, oh, right, I'll park outside on the flat. And then I'll go up the pavement. But then this happens. I'll leave it there. Swear words usually happen when that does. This is the pavement, the sort of surfaces of a lot of the pavements around town. You can see they're very pitted, very uneven. That's the bottom of Kendrick Street on the one side, and that's the, I suppose, call them paving bricks outside the sub-rooms, right at the front of the sub-rooms. It's very bumpy. This is what it's like to travel on the bricks. So once again, you can see it's very wobbly. It's not a wonderful experience. These are some more pavements. This is the pavement opposite us over to the post office. That's really bad. The other two are the bottom of Kendrick Street by Walker's Bakery. There's two curbstones there, and it's also very uneven. And also the other side there's no smooth exit onto the road there from the pedestrian area. That's quite a bump down, if you like. This, I apologise for the blurry bit at the beginning of this one, but I was trying to show what if I wanted to go to Church Street car park. It's not very good because it's very wobbly, but if you can see there's a van at the end. And also it's the flagstones again, which are not wonderful. Now people park, sorry I'm too close, people park there at the end of the road, and if you're parked in Church Street, if it's a big van, you often can't get back to the car park, which has happened. These, on a quiet Monday, pose no problem. but on a Friday or a Saturday, they're a bit of an issue. This one's always foxed me. This is the side of the subrooms. I can get on at the bottom, but I can't get off at the top. Sorry, I've gone too quick, but I can't get off at the top. There's no drop pavement at the top, so I'm stuffed. That one is the side of the subrooms where you can get on the pavement. This one's another problem, I think, because there's a drain right by the dropped or the sloping curb. It's also very uneven, and rollator wheels and some walking sticks will get stuck in that grating. When they built the Five Valleys new centre, I emailed the manager when it's under construction, asked about access and automatic doors, steps on entrances, and this was the reply, this verbatim from their email. Generally, all the doors will be wide enough to accept wheelchairs and will have level access where appropriate. Automation is generally down to the individual tenants. The key words there for me are generally and appropriate. Some people have done it, and I'm not pointing the finger at anybody here. Some people have managed to do it. Others haven't, and I completely understand why. It's always to do with money. This is the kind of entrance that works when the door is set back and you've got a slope. What I would say, I'll show you a few slides, and it's the nice part of Stroud, how inviting the shops are, how colourful they are, what makes Stroud what it is. There's this one, that's W.H. Smith's, nice and colourful. Another one, Oxfam shop. I used to love going in there to have a fiddle around. But none of those doors are automatic. This was a sunny Monday. When it's cold, all those doors are shut, and I can't open them. Sat on the wheelchair, on the scooter, they're too heavy. I can't open them. It's another one, lovely bookshop. Used to spend hours fiddling around in here. I don't anymore. It's another shop. See, this one's ideal. You can see how it works. The door is set back and you've got a slope. Works really well, perfect. But again, it's not an automatic door, so when it's winter, you have to fight with the door. And also what I will say, and this isn't a criticism of anyone, because I know Stroud has got lots of small retail units that are old buildings that have been converted. They're set out in such a way that for me to go in there in my scooter, it would be absolute carnage. I'd take half the displays with me. It's small, and I have done it. I took out half of W.H. Smith's ones because there's just not the space to move. This one annoys me because the door opens outwards, so you can't get up close to it in that small space and open it. You have to sort of either shout at somebody or be with somebody. So it sort of knocks on the head independent living, if you like. Then we've got places like this all through Stroud because we're all hills. I realise it's impossible. How can you alter this without a lot of money? We have a lot of places like this in town. It's very difficult. The one there, it's impossible to alter that without loads of money. And I understand why people can't. I get it. If you're a small business, I get it completely. This one, just that small step, I can only go up a very small bump. There's another one there, lovely set-back doorway with a slope, really nice, but I wouldn't dream of trying to get in there because I know, once again, I'd just take out most of the displays. It's too small. I've popped in the Five Valleys there. This was a quiet Monday. When it's busy on a Friday or a Saturday, it's impossible to get round. I'd never bother. It's just too busy. Chairs are everywhere, people are everywhere, quite rightly so. They're out having a nice day out. But it's impossible to get round. I picked this door because it's just a lovely door. It's got a lovely old worn stone steps. I thought, that's a really nice door, but would you want to alter this? Would you want to mess around with it and alter it? It's just really nice, and could you? And Stroud is full of shops and buildings like this. There's another one. It's a charity shop. I remember it as a Singer sewing machine shop many years ago. I can't get in that either. That one, lovely new dress shop. No, can't do that either. The only shop in Stroud with an automatic push-button door opening is Boots the Opticians. Well, that speaks volumes really, doesn't it? This is my pet hate. Please never do this. Don't park in front of drop pavements. This makes me slightly wild. This is outside the library. If I'm parked, you can just see a white car in the background there. If I'm parked there, because there's no drop pavement, I have to come onto the road and then come up on the pavement by the library, or by the library that was. And this chap is parked right across it. And that's a horribly busy road, ridiculously enough. This one, really, this makes me go full ninja when I see this, because there's absolutely no reason to do this. It's a cul-de-sac. Why are you parked on the pavement? Same with these. This is near where I live. And you just think, why? Just why? Not just for me, but for people with pushchairs, people with eyesight impairments, with restricted eyesight. It's a big problem. Stroud District Council, I do apologise to them a little bit, because actually further up there is a drop pavement, but it's a bit hidden, and the sign with the wheelchair on is rubbed off. It's right up under a tree as well. So I do apologise to Stroud District Council, but the bollards are a pain in the neck, to be honest, because they're in the way of when you open the door. And there's a real bump to go down that, whatever you like to call it, that curve. This is near where I live. This is the jolly old Keynes Cross Co-op. Nice zebra crossing, drop curb on one side, drop curb on the other side. And also drains, which again, if you've got a rollator or walking sticks, not wonderful. Right, should I have a sudden rush of blood to the head and actually want to go out of an evening? This is Stroud Cinema. This is their wheelchair seating. Now, I don't know many of you who'd actually want to sit that close to a screen without completely losing the plot and going home with a massive headache and neck ache. But there you go, you've got your wheelchair seating. So they've done their bit, but I've never been in. It's horrendous. This is the Barn Theatre in Cirencester. I've been there once. It was a few years ago, so things may have changed. You don't have allocated wheelchair seating. You just ring and tell when you're turning up. And you get a lot of that. Ring us and tell us you're turning up. So we did that. They sat us right at the front. It's a small theatre. I was literally about 3 foot from the front of the stage. I could see up the noses of the actors. It was a really unpleasant feeling. And because they put the lighting gantries at the back of the stage, when they changed the lights, because you're sat so close, you get blasted in the eyes by the lights. It was not much fun. Didn't enjoy it. And we couldn't just go in. Oh, no, can't do that. We had to go out the front door, round the back of the kiosk, and up the side of the stage, because there was no other way of getting in. So we only went once. This is the Roses Theatre at Tewkesbury. The middle row, where you can see the grey dots, that's what they call, I don't know, they're not specifically wheelchair, but for limited mobility. So they're flip-up seats, and it's for people, say, maybe the elderly using sticks, maybe children. They parked us right at the end, the far end. We had to wheel me along there without rolling over people's feet. And then on the other side, where the stalls are, there's a drop of about 4 or 5 foot. So my friend was trying to make sure I didn't end up in the stalls going over the edge. So that wasn't much fun either. I've got no pictures for this, because I didn't think anybody wanted to see a picture of a disabled toilet. I'm going to make 2 points. Why don't they make all disabled toilets with doors that swing both ways? And please, somebody invent a receptacle for personal care waste that doesn't stink. Because every time you go into because they're often baby changing rooms as well, which is fine. They often really pong, and it's really upsetting. Five Valleys, I'm looking at you. This is the canal path. I just tried it. This is the canal path. I tried it one by little, so it's reasonably new. I have tried other ones, which one reduced me to tears because it was so bad. That was one in Stonehouse. And this is how it feels to be travelling down it. So I wouldn't use the canal path for fun, put it like that. This is the other bit nearer to where I live. It's a slope going down to an underpass and then a slope going back up the other side. Once again, going down, it's really, really uneven. It's very bumpy. The bottom is horrible. That part there is awful. And then you get this moment of bliss where it's smooth, and that is so nice. And then you hit the other side, and it's wallop, we're on again. Trying to avoid all the lumps and bumps would be like trying to drive around a slalom. This is another part of where I can go home, as it were, to pass near me. I like it because it's green. I can look at people's gardens. It's very, very bumpy. Just along here, there was a slow worm on the path, just about there. And then, you can't hear it because I swore, because I nearly dropped everything. That's the end, folks. Now, that's just a snapshot. That's just what my life is like on an average day. I would love to be able to go into all those shops that I used to be able to go in before I had to use my scooter. It's really frustrating, and I would love this to have been more positive. But I'm sure Stroud is not alone. I'm sure there's lots of other really small towns throughout the country that have exactly the same issues. I think some of the things on here could be addressed. Some of the surfaces of paths and pavements could be sorted. But I appreciate that shops and businesses don't have the same. It's money. You can't do it. In an ideal world, I'd be able to get on the bus. I've got a special little bus pass. I can use my scooter on the bus. I haven't tried it yet. It's a bit scary. Because the buses are, I don't feel very reliable. And if I get stuck in Stroud, not being able to get back home, there are no taxis that will take a scooter. There's one taxi in Stroud that will take a wheelchair, but they're often not available at school chuck-it-out time because they do a lot of the school runs. So I'm sort of really, really reluctant to actually try the bus into Stroud. I use a mobility car, so that's my transport. I still drive at the moment. Don't know how long that'll last. We shall wait and see. These people are on Instagram. They're all loads younger than me, loads younger. I would say have a look. Some of them they do the Sociability app. The Sociability app, which they go to different big cities and they look at hotels, restaurants, public transport, pubs, places like that you might like to go, how accessible they are. They tend to do cities and hotel rooms. How accessible is a hotel room? If they tell you it's accessible, is it? I can never go anywhere without making a phone call first or looking at a website, and then maybe I go, maybe I don't. It severely curtails your social life. I would say have a look at these because some of them have lots of experience and also they get a lot of abuse because they're disabled. Anyway, that's all, folks. Okay? Oh, thanks, Jo. Sorry, rambled a bit.